So here we are on day 2 of this dome build.
Yeah, and I am absolutely shattered.
Yes, I would agree. My body aches, my arms, and that I think it's from all the pushing and lifting and lumping stuff up and down the field.
Yeah, and we've got a lot to do before we can get the cover on. So we need to basically shift the whole dome around, because at the moment the panoramic window is not quite pointing to the view that we want. So we need to just slightly shift it around. We've got to do the door, so we can take all the spokes out of the door and fit the door frame in.
Yep. Don't forget to anchor down the whole structure.
Yeah, we've got to anchor down the whole.
Put it in the solar vent.
Yeah.
And then it's just the easy task of pulling the cover up and over.
I'm so worried about putting the cover over. It's so high, and there's only 2 of us. Obviously, again, we're building a dome in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of a lockdown. We can't get anybody to help us, so it's us and the trusty tractor and maybe the kids. So let's crack on.
So what we actually need to do now is we're going to take these big fat screws, put them through, but there's nothing to actually go underneath the ply, so Vicky's found this little bit of wood that we're going to put underneath and screw into it, so it kind of sandwiches it and gives it a bit more something to hold on to.
Quite small to screw there. So at the moment we're trying to neaten up the edges so that the cover hangs really neatly over. We've been doing it with this jigsaw, but it's so slow going. So Brian had the genius idea of grabbing the circular saw. So we whizzed that bit off in seconds. So we're now just going to slightly move the dome, slice off in a straight line, and it should be so much quicker. Today has not been going so well. It is already 1 o'clock and we haven't even started getting the cover on, and we haven't even taken the piece away for the door yet, which we have to do before we can get the cover on. All we've been doing is cutting the edges, making sure we can screw the whole thing down. So now this is all totally secure and not going anywhere.
So what you got there, Vicky?
Well, our next job is to put this frame around the door. So because we're taking out this hexagon, we need to make a hexagonal frame to go to fit in this area here. So that's what this is. So we need to put this together and then take out this whole section and then refit it basically.
Okay, so what do we do with all the leftover poles?
Well, we've got quite a few leftover poles now from that dome and now this dome. I think we could make something else. Maybe make a climbing frame.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
So, for the part that you've been waiting for all day, Vicky!
And the part I've been dreading all day.
I must say my body's aching even more, having sawn and chopped and cut and done all the stuff.
So yeah, we've just got to get the cover on now, come hell or high water. It's now 3:30 in the afternoon.
And last time it took us on that dome, I think about 3 hours, if I remember rightly, to try and get that one on.
Okay, well let's get cracking then. So we're stuck here We're so close, but we just can't get the cover over, and I am absolutely exhausted. My arms are killing me. Brian is exhausted. We have literally had enough. We've been heaving this cover for the last 2 hours, and I know we were supposed to have 4 people, but we need 4 people. We just can't have 4 people, so we've just got to suck it up and do it. But it's blooming hard, so yeah, we're stuck. Okay, so it's there or thereabouts, thank goodness. Obviously there's a door to do and a panoramic window to stick in, but at least we've covered the ply in case there's any rain, which there's not supposed to be. But this is why we've done this right here. This is where you sit. You don't look at a generator, you look at Barramump and the sunset. I mean, this is what it's all about.
You say that after we've been up here, what, 9 hours today?
Yeah, and like...
And then however many yesterday?
8 hours yesterday.
Oh, I'm broken.
I'm completely
Lifting
broken.
This thing, who knew it was so heavy? It's just awkward.
I knew it was heavy.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you can see where it's not quite lined up, like the lines are supposed to be over the things, but we can adjust that. Yeah, we just need to let it settle. You're supposed to go back in 24 hours anyway and just retighten and stuff. So yeah, thank goodness that is pretty much done. So the next job is to put in the panoramic window. It's this whole section here, which you basically need to Velcro in, but it's like the trickiest thing in the world. So one of them needs to be on the inside and one needs to be on the outside, and hope for the best. So the problem is, it's exceedingly heavy, and you've got to have one person holding it, not the other. Trying to Velcro it in. Oh, I can't get it higher.
Lift it up. Okay, so what I need you to do is to have at the same time to pull out this. There we go.
Brian's had to go back to work and I've just tried to redo it and I've made a worse job of it. So you can see there's like this just won't reach to here, so I'm gonna have to wait till he finishes work now and see if we can do it at 4 o'clock, because that is not good. The next job to do is try and get this cover that goes, especially made to go around a wooden door frame. So I might have a go at that and see if I can do that, but it's not likely. So we finished getting the panoramic window in now, which was a bit of a mission. It's not 100% perfect. You can see the edge of the Velcro there, but we will just give it a few days to kind of settle and then see if we can just re-pull it over a bit. Annabelle and I managed to get the door section of canvas in earlier, so that was good. So then this ends up just pulling in, and then this is all the other bits of the door which need to get done as well, so that's nearly there. So right now we are scraping the top layer of dirt off of where we've kind of let it all settle from where we put the sewage line in. very, yeah, depressing how quickly the bucket fills. So yeah, we're just basically trying to level it all off. So we're nearly at the end. It's just that lumpy bit down there to go. I have to run to tell him when his bucket's full. My spade's in the way. Yeah, it's full.
Already?
Yeah. We've now managed to flatten all this grass that was above the sewage line, and Brian's got a big sack of grass seed, so we're now going to seed it because the rain is coming in about an hour. So if we can sprinkle seed all on it and then rake it up a bit, got my handy dandy rake, then hopefully by the time guests come we might have a smattering of grass on here. It's not going to look quite so muddy and awful. We've got about a month and a half until our first guests arrive, so hopefully come the spring it'll end up growing a little bit. The grass seed we're using is campsite, car and caravan park. Who knew there was a grass seed specifically for this? So that's the different percentages of whatever grass seed it is, but all I know is as long as it does grass, it's fine by me. Today we had the lovely Daryl back from Hutchinson Carpentry and Joinery. So he's putting the door in because we trust him more than we trust ourselves, and he did the one in the other dome, so he's pretty much an expert dome door panerai. So the idea behind the door, when you get a wooden door, is that this extra panel of canvas folds in, and then you end up having a bit of a recess outside here, so then you can see that panel there. So it all folds in, and then it makes the water all run off, so no water goes in the dome theoretically. So Daryl's cut away the ply that was here so that we can tuck these down and put decking boards on, because otherwise the ply would just rot out. So the decking boards mean that it will hopefully last a bit longer. So you can see how these bits all tuck in behind the door frame, and then it all gets nice and sealed, and so the water just runs off and hopefully not into the dome. So the dome has now got its door on, which is brilliant. We've just got a bit of decking to finish at the bottom, but otherwise the outside is complete. Today's job is to fit the solar vent. So this is the solar vent in here, and we've got the instructions, we've got the tractor ready, we've got the ladder ready. Let's do it. Right, so I am currently up in the bucket, and now I can get to the vent plate because there's the vent plate there. What's up?
I could actually bring you slightly more closer if you want.
That's fine, I'm happy, don't go any closer. Yeah. So I'm just pushing the cover so that he can then drill the holes and try not to get my finger drilled at the same time. So that's all the holes drilled. Now we need to get the vent plate, which is in the box. I'm pretty useless because I'm up here. And then silicone it and then pop it on the top. The next job is to fit the vent plate, which is going to go up there. So first of all we've got to put, oh poo, I can't fit it in film. 3 beads of silicone, like one around this bit and then one around the middle and then one around the outside. So I'm just going to get on with that now. Okay, I think I've done my siliconing now.
And they've got it all in the holes as well.
Yeah, it's all everywhere.
Cool. So now if you lift it up and push that up against the backing plate, and then stick some of those bolts through just to hold it in place.
Okay, like that.
Yep. Now you can at least aim that to where you want it to be.
Sticky. The hole's not big enough.
Oh, well, we should have tested this before we put it on then, shouldn't we have?
I'm covered in silicone.
Well, what do they say? Measure twice, cut once? Surely.
Like really slippery fingers.
You got slippery fingers, oh dear.
Can you pass me something to make a hole bigger?
Or like a drill.
Oh, yeah, that'll do.
Push that bolt through. There you go. And you've done it.
Right, silicone.
I'll drill it to the right of that, so this one over here. And now shove a bolt through there, please. Push!
What am I doing?
I don't know. having a tea party. So here we go, we've got now all of the bolts in. So what's left to do is we now need to put the nuts and the washers on this side and then just cut the circle out. And then we can then put the mushroom vent there on the outside.
So now all the screws are in, we're just tightening. So Brian's holding on the inside and I'm tightening on the outside. So we've now cut the canvas away so that we can fit the solar vent properly, and then it should hopefully give us nice air circulation. So that is the big mushroomy thing there. Do I need to put the mesh on first? Are they going to put the mesh back on?
Whoa, it's spinning.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've now got our solar panel on here, so we're just basically trying to screw in these bits underneath, which is really awkward.
Yeah.
When you're up a tractor and you don't know where to lean. Thanks. There we go, so the solar vent is in. It is silicone to within an inch of its life, so hopefully no water will leak through. So that's what it looks on the outside. And then on the inside, it looks like that.
Believe it or not.
Oh, and it already, turn it on with a little switch there, and it spins away. So obviously we're going to have an insulation lining over the top of all this, so you won't notice all those screw holes and the plate or anything.
Well, it's all with the cover on.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, so that is that. Another job ticked off the list. That's it for this episode. Next week we'll be starting on the interior design of it, so I'm quite excited about that. That is my favourite bit. As ever, if you have any questions about the dome, then please do get in touch in the comments, and we would love you to subscribe to our channel if you like what we're up to. And hopefully we will see you next week.